but you loved him. He loved you, and that's what matters. He was a good person, and so was Will. And anybody that don't know that, y'all should know it, because I watched this man with Will, and he loved Will, and he wanted to be with Will. But for 3 years, he didn't come around, and Will was broken, bad. Never did anything, just destroyed himself. And then he came back around, and he talked to Will, and he told Will things that I won't say, but y'all need to understand one thing. That man loved Will. And for y'all to treat Will the way y'all did, tell him don't come to the funeral, then let him come and do him the way you did him, and then the thing y'all said about him, you know what? Y'all are wrong. And y'all burn in hell for it if you don't repent.
The word indomitable means impossible to subdue. And that is what the gospel of Jesus Christ is. It is unconquerable, and it is indomitable. But faith in the face of such loss was not always easy. God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Author unknown. Words have the power to both destroy and heal. When words are both true and kind, they can change our world. Buddhist quote. Philippians chapter 4 verse 7, and the peace of God, which surpasses all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus. Jeremiah chapter 31 verse 3, love yesterday, today and forever. Mark chapter 10 verse 9, therefore what God has joined together, let no one separate. Luke chapter 23 verse 43, and he said to him, truly, I say to you, today you will be with me in paradise.
You know, the one thing that I didn't ask you when we were doing the first video about Brad was, do you remember meeting Bradley?
The first time we were in Destin.
That's when
condos, and he came out to that pool.
That's not when he met you.
Yes, it is. I'm like, oh, Will.
Do you remember the glasses
are you sure
he
you're
was
gay?
wearing?
I said, you sure you're gay? Because I think you're so fine.
Because you're just not used to. You're not you.
No, I just was playing with him.
Yeah, but everybody said that.
I loved him. No, he's so sweet.
Like, gay people don't have a look.
He was so good looking. But
he was so beautiful.
You deserved him. He was great looking. But
okay. Along with coping with loss and grief, after losing your boyfriend, how did you initially feel and how did you navigate through those feelings?
I really don't think I got closure. I think it was hard for me to ever understand it because of how everything happened.
Do you think maybe, or possibly, you already kind of had to navigate through those feelings through the initial first breakup?
I mean, you know, I already had lost him for a couple of years, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
That's how it felt. And so whenever it happened again, I was like, you know, how can this happen? I just saw him.
I'll never forget that day. Me to talk about it, try to get everybody, because we were all
He's so loving.
There was chaos, and he
had so much love.
And he came to me and talked to me.
Pure heart.
And he went to Haley.
Never would harm a soul.
That man.
And he loved y'all so much.
And I hope he knew I loved him. I hope
he did.
Because I did. I mean, I really meant that. I was playing with him. Usually I was playing because I don't want a man.
No, he wasn't. He didn't take offense.
But I just wanted.
He knew that he was meeting some of my family.
Yeah, and then we're all crazy.
But
he knew.
He just was excited to meet people that I love.
And he seen I loved him back, and you and too.
What saddens me is just all the people that have left my life since then that acted like they cared about him and me.
They didn't care about him or you. They cared about
themselves. I know, they cared about themselves. But it's so sad to think that way.
There's
but thank God he didn't know that. You know, I only noticed it after.
He may have noticed it.
Maybe he did, but he knew that at the end of the day, what mattered most was that we had what we had.
Yeah.
Do you feel as if the only difference from the breakup to now, or the actual loss, instead of the ghosting, was the fact that there's no longer that maybe?
Like, it's weird to say that because I don't know how to explain that right, but it's like, you know how it feels. Being ghosted sucks. You know what I mean? And so, but when you feel that way, and then somebody comes back, this is what we differ in. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
As
our love was also very different. Like, you were in love with Bradley.
Right, yeah. No, I really was. Yeah, no, I don't think I was ever able to come to terms with it. I don't think I have I don't think I have. It doesn't feel real. I can't go to a graveyard. There's no grave site.
I think people.
I really
a lot of people
truly
do.
believe that he was about to start a new life with me. That's what he
I think
said.
that's what y'all got back together.
He lied. Because I asked him if he was on anything. Because, you know,
he came back.
when he came back,
I didn't know
he
that.
lied to me. What's so interesting to me is even the music that they played at his funeral was, they played a song by Luke Bryan called One Margarita.
They try to really do the celebration of life.
Maybe they can feel justified doing what they did. You had a woman call my phone and get this, a life insurance adjuster. I'm saying it.
I feel like that closure, you like with things like that, you always have to give yourself closure. But it's like, how do you give yourself closure when 1 minute here we are enjoying life together, another day together, and then for 3 days, I'm wondering where you're at. Did you ghost me again? Did you?
6 days in total.
6 days. Here we are. We're living these days together. You know, you're here and you're peaceful
almost
with me.
Every day.
You're having these happy moments with me.
All of a sudden, out of the blue, and it was like,
I would think I got ghosted again. Like, what did I do to mess it up again?
Before this happened, his own mother was Ubered. I was her Uber. And that's what you see in the video clip, and you can hear us talking about it.
Y'all found your souls had to find each other again before separation.
I don't think he meant to. I don't think.
No. I'm not saying. I don't think it's I'm not saying he
purposefully did.
No, but do you think like y'all's souls were like, I have to do this?
I think I would have really, really lost it. I was so happy to know that I
gave him peace.
His sister told me straight up.
Very, at the time, I remember when you read it to me, I was like, let me cuss her out. But I was like, I'm not going to respond at first. I'm going to give it a couple days. I didn't really think.
That took 2 days to think of what I wanted to say because I knew she was hurting. I know it's her brother. I understand that. But what she doesn't understand is as far as companionship.
Moments. You were there for each other. Some nights, y'all were all each other had.
That was all, to be honest.
They say before people pass, even when they don't even know that they're about to pass, they say for some reason they feel as if they have to go see the ones they love.
He'd been wanting to come see me. You should hear what this insurance adjuster said to me. I've visited her in person twice. And I never met her before all this happened. Mind you, I had never met this woman a day in my life. I've been to so many parties at his parents' home. They threw parties every weekend. They had all their friends there. And you know what? I had a good old time with them people. And I knew all their friends, I thought. That's her best friend in the world all of a sudden. This insurance lady that calls my phone randomly and says to me, I already knew her name because Bradley brought her up to me, said he was going into the insurance business. And he really was going to go work for this woman. Well, she calls me up, and it says caller ID. You know these iPhones are nowadays. Mm-hmm. So I answered it. Long story short, I get a phone call from her. She had me three-way in my mom for some reason. Interesting though, she disrespected his life. She said that they were going to mix his ashes with his favorite dog's ashes and split it 17 ways.
Like, oh, thank you. I just found out this horrible news.
Oh, and to promise her not to go to that funeral on the behalf of his family's request.
Like,
so okay.
She didn't even know that y'all were partners.
I asked my mom about that. I'm so serious. I told her, I said, you're going in circles. She said, we were just okay. I said, yeah, we were just okay, but you're going in circles and we've been on the phone for an hour and a half. I'm not going to go to the funeral. What do you want from me, lady?
They want
and they want to toy with my head.
Well,
they think that I'm the reason for something when guess what? Where were y'all at? He told me.
It's okay though.
But it's okay. I forgive him. I forgive him though, but it's so sad that he knows I would never judge him. I didn't know. I asked him if he was doing drugs. He told me he was doing ketamine treatments at the clinic.
Yeah.
And so, and he really was, come to find out. But I don't know if that treatment and any type of opioid mixed together would be a good thing. And I don't think that he meant to kill himself. I don't think so.
Well, I didn't mean to kill myself on 30 milligrams of methadone clinic, but I did a
You know?
Xanax night before and it killed me. And guess what? That's just, I mean, but God, it wasn't time for me to go, and they revived me. They Narcan me back.
So now this lady's making a mockery of your
Well,
pain.
you know, it's just crazy how it all worked out. Because, like, even during the relationship, I'm just saying it sounds like a movie. We're on the penthouse floor of this condominium place, Luau, in Sandestin, in this community that you cannot get into unless you have some type of clearance or whatever. I don't know.
You gotta have a badge, an ID,
girl, my cousin paid for all this and whatever. But we were on the balcony, and he's like, I came out to my parents. I'm like, what? I'm like, well, when and why? Like, why'd you do that? Like, I was like shocked. I was like, oh, I didn't realize he actually liked me that much. You know what I mean? But he did. I don't know why I didn't think that, but I just thought, oh, it's too good.
It's too good to be true.
He's too.
Like, I'm the one that takes you out of the closet.
I guess I don't know if they already knew. I don't know if they did. Same night that he told me that, the next morning he'd blow, because he had a blower in his car because of the DUI. And I guess he had been drinking too much the night before. I went to bed. He blows in his blower.
And it fails.
And it violated him. So I let him take my car the whole day.
I think he had a lot of secrets because their approval. You have said it, and you made it very clear that his parents' way of thinking and doing things is the only way.
It's a facade.
And he has a lot of secrets that his parents, come to find out, truly don't know.
Oh, they don't know their son. If that what his sister said is what they all think, then they have no clue who their son was. And not in a bad way. He was a great person. But I'm just saying, him and our relationship was not toxic. He was so used to coping with things, I guess, the wrong way, with maybe alcohol being a part of his life growing up.
I knew some, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And so
it's a control thing. Like, parents that want control over someone, they don't like it when they go and find a partner or a friend.
Maybe it's not malicious, though. It's more so like, because they don't have control, I gave him a backbone, is what I did. I never was in control of him. I was, because even his sister, the way that she worded it was like almost like I'm his nanny or something, and I'm not.
Personally, as from experience, as soon as I had someone doing better, and yeah, we had toxic moments because they did cope with
we're all human beings.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Parents didn't like me no more and took it right from under me.
Well,
because they like the control. They like, they like that puppeteerness. And it's not a way of living.
They want things to look a certain way. He just went through so much.
Yeah.
I can't imagine.
And that closure, I feel like, do people really ever get closure from anything? We can say we do, we can say we don't. But really, we're just hoping that the right words might come out of someone's mouth, or
I
the
think
right
that there is,
thing might help it.
I think I didn't get the closure that I needed after he was gone, but before he was gone, 100%. That's why I took 2 days to respond to his sister, because I knew the truth. I don't need her to care about whether or not I'm right.
At the end,
that
peace was there, that love was there.
I know who I am, and I know what I did, and I know what he felt. And I have it on camera, and if they want to go there with it, let's go there, because the truth is... But
they won't ever understand, because they will never feel that peace.
But they'll hear it from the horse's mouth, just like this woman that your best friend told me I'm beating a dead horse and to move on with my life. I should probably show y'all beating a dead horse. Huh. Because I could do that.
That's a terrible way of telling someone.
Oh, it's horrific. It made me want to cry my eyes. I thought, oh my God. And she told me to my face that she wishes that I had, there were certain things that he had told me, and I didn't get the full thing of it. And she scolded me, just saying, I just wish that you did. What are you talking about? It's like, first of all, I'm not to blame for anything, and the fact that it happened is enough.
You're not responsible.
I have to know who did it, and I have to make sure that I I've done this for you, and these people hate my guts already. You know what I mean? For no reason. They have done nothing but scold
as if they
me.
accepted you. Then
and they did in the
pushed you
beginning.
away.
They pushed me away as soon as they could, and it was because I guess they thought that their son was drinking too much around me or something.
That's what they say.
But
I don't think that's true.
There's a lot of alcoholism involved. It has nothing to do with me. She, this woman that I keep bringing up because I never had any face-to-face nor over-the-phone contact with any family member. Only a text from his sister. That's it.
Because you're not even important enough to be seen.
Even his mom's boyfriend, right, has contacted me over the phone.
Why do you think that they won't face you and talk to you one-on-one?
Because deep down, nobody's naive. We're all, unless we're up on pills, you know what I'm saying?
You're not even naive then.
We know what we need to do. We know who's at fault. We know what happened. We all know. We all know deep down. And maybe we've forgotten certain things, but it never goes away. You're constantly going to think about that, because I have. I'm not guilty, and I know I'm not guilty for a damn thing, but I have thought about it a lot because of the fact that people have been planted in my mind.
Yes.
I should have done this. No. I should have done that.
You were made to feel like it's your fault, and it wasn't.
And it just really, brought me where I don't think I ever got any closure. It's made me wait. I'm waiting for closure, and I'm not going to get closure with that.
No.
Because it's not true. I don't know what's true. Did they, I asked this lady in person, did they really mix his ashes with the dog's ashes? She goes, his favorite dog. What that woman said about y'all is so messed up. Oh my God. I would not mess with that woman whatsoever. She is evil. What that shit woman said to me was evil about you people as well.
I think
and it's not true. This is the truth. And it hurts my heart to say. You know what I mean? Because I think that she's done a lot of harm in just contacting me. I wish that they contacted me and talked to me about this, but they couldn't.
And there's your closure. It will never happen. Yeah. Your closure is the fact that you gave him peace. The love was real.
And acceptance.
You have nothing
important.
to do with him no more.
And in life, I think we all do things we're not proud of. And sometimes in life, you have to look at somebody and you have to either say, A, I'm going to be happy in my own life and not criticize you because of how you live yours, or B, you're going to be an unhappy person and you're going to want somebody to live the life that you're supposed to, quote unquote, live. What do you do? I was so shocked at everything that happened after his death. Everything. I'm not going to bring up certain things, but it floored me. It disgusted you? Things that I saw posted floored me to the ground. And there was one time where I was at the house with him or his house, their house at the time. They're off on their neighbor's yacht that's so big that they drove it down the coast of Florida. And I thought they were in the Bahamas. Apparently, they're in the Florida Keys. Same thing. Whatever. They're so close together. This woman told me that his sister was there with him and had to drive him to the hospital. And just the way she's wording it, it's like she's coming up with it on the spot just to see what I'll say. What happened was I was the only person there for him, and he was going through withdrawals. And I didn't know this at the time, but he had to tell me these things. And he told me he told his mother. Whenever no one was there and he was going through those withdrawals, my friend Nicholas Clark died in a car accident a week before then. So I had to leave that house for a couple of hours. I left for the most minimal amount of time possible to go to my friend who I knew of for 10 years. For 10 years. I left that house for 2 hours because I was so worried about Brad that I left that house. I went to my friend's funeral for 2 hours in sweatpants while everyone cried, and all I did was worry about Bradley back at home in bed, having withdrawals. So,
At the end
But
of
she
the
told
day,
me that he tried to kill himself while they were out of town, and his sister was the only one there for him. And I said, what?
because they want you to feel like a joke, like everything's a lie, like
Somebody's playing somebody for a fool.
they're playing themselves because they're lying to themselves.
I know, because at the end of the day, they don't. No matter what they make me feel like, it's not going to do anything.
And
for
at
them.
the end,
But you know what? Let's close with this. We love them. And
Just look at the camera and just say what you have to say about Bradley, because I
Bradley,
really never got that out of
the
you.
day I first met him, I'll never forget it. He came up there and Will said, "This is Bradley." And so, you know, he's so good looking and he's so sweet. And he's just this guy. It's just something about him. And I just like, oh yeah, you not gay? I'm like, just playing with it. And he had this smile that just, and that weekend some turmoil happened later.
We're family. Every family's crazy, I think.
We're real. I'm talking about we're real.
We're real. Oh, that was one of the best nights of my life, by the way. Even regardless of that happening, that was still the best night of my life because he brought me to dinner. And we were into Sandestin. It's the nicest restaurant.
I'll never forget that he came in that room after me and you got into it. And I think something Haley, and he talked me out on that veranda and we set up that little table.
And I remember I don't even know what y'all were saying, but he got you to he calm down.
He did.
I'm just saying, it's odd the way that I'm talking to this insurance adjuster who is so adamant about these time frames she cannot give me. She said she had it on her phone, and I don't know why I said this to her, but I swear to God, I said, I don't want to see it. But she looks me dead in the face and she goes, there's no date. After I said that. And I said, what do you mean? It's not at the top of the photo. Click on the photo. Just tap on the photo. It's an iPhone. It'll show the date right there. And she tries to say she's saying a year. She thinks she's slick, but listen, I have intuition. I have something that we all have. It's called a brain, okay? And it works.
It's if you're gonna try to manipulate.
And she just said,
do it better. There's a reason why there was peace between y'all, and he did not find peace nowhere else.
That was the first post. The only reason why I knew about it, though, this is why this woman...
It's not sketchy, no.
That woman asked me about it. That was one of the first questions she asked me. Is how did you... I said, well, he had gone to jail whenever on our first date. So I decided I'd check JailView, but instead of checking JailView, I knew if I typed in his name in the county and clicked and typed it, I even typed in JailView after that. You know what I'm saying? He would just pop up and I wouldn't have to deal with looking through the...
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I do it all the time.
Google, whatever.
Yeah.
And the first thing I see on April 1st.
When people have soul ties, they know when something's not right.
The last thing he ever said to me was, well, whenever you get that YouTube money, and I said, and I stopped him, I said, I'm gonna be your sugar daddy. And he said, I'm gonna hold you to that. And he's getting it, and it's so ironic too, because he's getting in a $200,000 car outside my trailer. I'm gonna insert a clip right here.
I told you guys don't play with me, and now look what y'all made me do. I'm like Taylor Swift up in this hole. Look what you made me do. Look what you just made me do. Well, we're gonna have a lot of payments to make, that's for damn sure. But we'll make it work. That's that YouTube money. You went for this? Oh my gosh. You said it's the competition?
Yeah.
So it's it's a masquerade 8 competition package. Whoa. Holy crap. I'll blur off the... What color was it?
Gray BMW color.
It looks like it.
But he got that wrap on.
That's like sick, for real. Like in a good way.
It's not loud, but it has
It's
Crazy movies. In the movies.
It sounds like a beast. So I don't even want to sit in it. Oh my god. So anyways, y'all, I just bought this. It was only how much? Like, only $185,000, y'all. So, and I just love it so much. It's wonderful. I deserve it. I bought it with all my YouTube money. How much horse? I guess I'll look it up later. This thing is a beast, dude. Oh wow, I see. So you can be like chauffeured up in this whore. Everything I say sounds like bullshit exaggeration, but it's so not. It's so not. It was not his car. It was not his car. It was his mom's
That's not the
boyfriend.
point.
But you know, it's the thought that counts. But we were going to my grandma's 86th birthday party. Isn't it?
Laugh at that.
It's like, it doesn't sound, it sounds like a fucking,
What?
it sounds like a movie scene. Yeah, but that's why it feels like that. So, you know, I was an Uber driver for years. I was doing an Uber, and I was downtown next to like where his parents used to live together before they split up during the time frame that we weren't together. And so, anyways, but I didn't know that they had split up, and then I saw a woman's name come on my phone, the same name as his mom's, and you know, I'm doing Uber. You know what I mean? I'm doing Uber downtown, so of course I'm just gonna go pick up whoever and not think about it. Lo and behold, it's her. That's what me and him are discussing in this. It's a time she ordered the Uber. I don't know, I'm pretty sure. You know what? You know what happened? That was right at the time. Because I felt crazy. Because I was like, okay, that wasn't her. What that was her? Right? She's coming up to the car with this man at the establishment. It's by that parking garage that we used to refer to as this bar. Really? Okay, so sorry, the bar. Yeah, so I was downtown and I'll go up the stairs. Really? And are you just going to stay in that 5 minutes? Yeah, that's what I was saying. My other thing was I was pulling up and I thought to myself, there's no way this is her, right? Because it's telling me on my phone. That's what me and him are discussing in this scene, is the fact that his mom had a boyfriend, you know. Ultimately, it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, I'm going to tell the truth, you know. I'm not going to say anybody's name, but I definitely am going to say a fact right here. How ironic is it that she's dating somebody with the same last name as me? And a lot of this is going to sound like a crock of shit, and I just don't care. People are heartless. They had no mercy when it came to me and what I was told. I was told he was split 17 ways. I was told that in that splitting of 17 ways that the dog's ashes were mixed with his. And on top of that, I was told not to come to a funeral and to promise not to come. And so I did. Later on, that wasn't the case, thank God. I messaged their third party that they used the entire time they had any communication with me, other than the one message I got from his sister. I've been nothing but kind to everyone involved. Shown nothing but kindness, except for once I did message his sister back, and that was purely because of the hate that was thrown towards me. Unexpectedly, obviously. Like, I don't understand. I don't get it. But I think I do, but I think I don't. After all this time, I think it's kind of come together in my head. Like, these people need a reason to blame someone so they can go along with their lives. And if that's what's going to make them feel better about themselves, that's awesome. But I sure hope that his ashes weren't mixed with some dogs and split. I hope it wasn't split 17 ways. For the last time I talked to that insurance lady, she told me that it was split 3 ways, so that makes more sense. But when I mentioned the dog, she said his favorite dog. So, Lord only knows. That's my cue to get off here, obviously, I guess. I love you, Brad. Man, I miss you. I miss you so much. I care so much. I do. I think about it all the time. And not because of emotional guilt. That's a quote from someone, and I'm not even going to say who.
And he was never raised his voice. He was so soft-spoken. And he had me calm down. And we
Because he
sat
didn't
talk.
mean no harm.
No. The man was absolutely beautiful. But he had a time to die. Everybody has a time to die. God appoints it. And that was his time. And, you know, even if it was accidental, God wouldn't
No,
let
it
happen.
was accidental.
If it was accidental or
I mean,
God wouldn't let
God
it
has a plan, I think, but I don't think that was supposed to happen, but I guess it was.
No, because if it, like me, I overdosed and died, but it wasn't my time. And I'd been pretty much close to dead for an hour, and guess what? They Narcan me back. But you know, he wasn't meant to live to be old. Maybe he would have went through something really horrible with his family. I don't know. But you loved him. He loved you, and that's what matters. He was a good person, and so was Will. And anybody that don't know that, y'all should know, because I watched this man with Will, and he loved Will. And he wanted to be with Will. But for 3 years, he didn't come around. And Will was broken, bad. Never did anything, just destroyed himself. And then he came back around and he talked to Will and he told Will things that I won't say, but y'all need to understand one thing. That man loved Will. And for y'all to treat Will the way y'all did, tell him don't come to the funeral, then let him come and do him the way you did him, and then the thing y'all said about him, you know what? Y'all are wrong, and y'all burn in hell for it if you don't repent. You killed your sons. What you did, Will didn't. You did.
I've done nothing but care about this person. Nothing else but care and try to be there for that person. And he's no longer with us, but that's not my fault.
Accepted it because you know what? He didn't choose to be that way. He was, and he was hurt that y'all wouldn't accept him, and y'all killed him. And that's the end of the story.
One of the most difficult experiences in life is that unless you break the cycle, unless you remove yourself from a situation or environment where you have been hurt, you will most likely continue to be hurt. And turning the page is extremely difficult because it implies understanding and accepting that letting go of someone means that while they may have been a part of your history, they do not have to be a part of your destiny. Murakami once said, "Pain is unavoidable, but suffering is optional." And the longer you stay in a situation where you are the one getting hurt, the more difficult it is to heal, and the more you suffer.
Anything negative to say, go fuck yourself, because you don't even know what the fuck happened and what I was put through. God forbid what he was put through. I mean, Jesus, I know for a fact it was much worse, but how could y'all treat me like that? It just goes to show you not everything's the way it seems. And I'm saying this for me. Because I'm a person too, and my story matters as well, and how y'all treated me was wrong.